This is Tea Weeder with another helpful hint. Hopefully this solution will be something you can use and will make things a little easier for you. When I build a tea weeder, and a tea weeder, this is a device that you throw out into the lake and it drags along the bottom and pulls out aquatic weeds. But anyway, when I make the tea weeder, every tea weeder comes with 25 feet of rope attached to the end of it. And what I've done in the past is bought rope in 100-foot lengths, and then I had to measure it out and separate it into 25-foot lengths to attach to each tea weeder that is sold. And this time around I decided to do something a little different. I contacted the manufacturer that I buy the rope from and to see if I could order it in a different type of length. And what they had was, this is 3,200 or about 3,000 feet of rope, and this way I can just pull it right off the spool and I don't have to unwind it and stuff like that. What I was looking at is some way to mount this spool on a stand so I could just pull it off easily. And I looked on the internet and Amazon and different places to see what was available, and I could find a real flimsy and expensive one for about, the cheapest I could find was about $40. And then they went for the real nice fancy ones up to over $200. And I got to thinking, I believe I've got some materials around here, just some scrap wood, some 2x4 and stuff. And I think I can maybe make something myself that should operate just fine, and it probably will cost me almost nothing. So I thought I'd make a video because I was trying to see if anyone else had come up with a good solution. Not finding anything, I thought, well, let me see if I can come up with something. You could use this for not only rope, but any types of cables, or basically anything that you would might come on a spool. So I'm going to go dig around a little bit and see what I come up with, and see if I can put something together. Okay, I found some 1x4 boards that I had. I think these might have even been part of a pallet or something I had taken apart at one time when something was shipped to me, or a shipping crate. And then I found I've got a piece of 3/4 inch galvanized steel. I actually used these to make the handles of the tea weeder. So I'm going to see if I can come up with some kind of a design that I can fashion together to make a stand for the spool of rope I have here. Alright, here's what I've got so far. What I did is I took those 1x3 or 1x4 boards that I had, and I cut them in half. They were 60 inches long, so I cut them, they were each 30 inches after I cut them in half. And then on the one end, it's going to be the bottom, I cut that at a 45. I didn't go all the way to the corner. As you can see, I left a little nub there so it's not a pointy end. Anyway, and then I just did one, and then I used that one to mark the other three for templates. And then in the end, I just used a 1-inch hole saw to cut a hole through. I measured and I crisscrossed them, so those are at 90 degrees to each other on both sides. I crisscrossed them and just got a couple screws in just to hold them for now, see how it all would work, but that looks like that'll work fine. What I'm going to do then is I'll put a couple of pieces of wood across the top and bottom from side to side to brace it, to lend some stability. Right now it's, as you can see, it's obviously wobbly, so that'll brace it. And then I'll probably see if I can figure out some way, maybe just put a bolt or something through this to keep it from sliding through, and then I can just take that out to replace the spool when the time comes. So let me work on this a little more and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, it's all done. Put the braces on. The wider ones here that are on the outside, these ended up being 20 inches because of the width of my spool. These ones on the inside, since these are this is 3/4 inch wide, these ended up, top and bottom ones that are on the inside, ended up being 18 inches. So it's all squared up. I cut the 3/4 inch. All that is conduit. So anyway, I built this for about nothing. Well, the conduit, if a 10-foot piece of that 3/4 inch galvanized conduit is $4, and I used about 1.5 foot, so I probably got about a little over $1 into, or less than $1 into this. The boards I had laying around, they were just scraps, and then a couple of screws is all it took. So it did help to have a drill press to drill the holes through the conduit. I have a drill press that I use for that. Other than that, no real special tools. I did had a miter saw to cut some of the angles and cut the boards, made it easier, but you don't need one. And the spool can go on. The only place it won't fit through is right here at the top, but it'll fit through either side or the bottom. And I think it's easiest to load the spool by laying this down and laying it on its side, put the spool in there and line up the holes, and then put the conduit through the hole. So I'll put it together and take one last shot of it. There it is with the spool on it. As I reflect on this a little bit, I think the only thing I maybe would have done just a little bit different is would have cut this conduit just another inch or two, maybe an inch longer. And the only reason is when I put these bolts through, because it's so close to the frame here, I'm not able to get a box end wrench on it. I had to use open end wrench and then just tighten that up. I got a nylock nut on this side so it won't rattle loose or anything, but I only anticipate having to replace that spool not very frequently, so that shouldn't be an issue. But there it is. It cost almost nothing to put it together. It took me probably an hour and 20 minutes, but I had to figure a few things out. So hopefully it'd go a little easier and faster if you do one yourself. You can make this for any size spool, and that'll make it a little easier to get the materials off, as I know it's going to make things a lot faster for me than having to unwind a bunch of different hanks of rope and then straighten them out, measure them and all that. This will go really fast. So I hope this helps. Coming to you from T-Weeder. If you have lake property or know of somebody that does and they have a problem with aquatic weeds, check out the T-Weeder. It's a good way to clean up your property, make it more fun to use, and add a lot of value to it. Thanks for watching.